Craig Stevens.
I'm Bobby Mankey, and this is our Witt TED Talk on how the digital age is affecting internal communication in the workplace.
I had an internship this summer with an organization made up of 14 young employees and 10 college-aged interns. The office we were in was rather small and was an open floor plan, so if I talked in a normal tone of voice, chances are someone could hear everything I just said across the office. We weren't in cubicles, we were all practically sitting right next to each other. Of course we physically talked to each other frequently because of this. It made it very easy to collaborate on projects. But a lot of the time, if there was an announcement, meeting time, or simple message someone wanted to let the whole office know about, they would type it out and send it in a digital messenger system called Slack. A lot of college students use GroupMe. Well, Slack is comparable to GroupMe, just to give you an idea of what it is. It's a group chat that we all participated in to keep us updated on anything from a team meeting at 10 a.m. to where everyone was planning to go for lunch. It was supposed to act as a very quick, easy way to communicate. In fact, Slack's slogan is "Be less busy," as in you were probably too busy to go talk to someone in person, so shoot them a quick chat from your desk. Looking back and thinking about our topic, I thought, was using Slack in such a small office that necessary? Interns and staff could have easily turned to the person next to them to say, "Hey, we're going to Chipotle today, want to come?" Or, "We're all going to the warehouse at noon to count inventory." Wouldn't speaking be more effective at all times, since there's always a chance someone will miss a Slack message? My answer to my own question is that using Slack was in fact necessary in this day and age of technology. It just wasn't necessary to the extent that it was used. Chats like Slack make it very easy to interact because it gives people the freedom to respond when it's convenient for them. But abusing digital communication or using it too much can lead to disconnect between employees. According to articles that our group explored, something as simple as your manager talking to you primarily face-to-face can make your view of your job and the organization as a whole much brighter. It would increase your trust in your boss and make for a better work environment. It seems like such an easy concept to actually talk to an employee, but emails, social networks, and workplace chats are actually making us forget how important in-person interaction is. We have to be careful going forward because we're in the digital age.
Because we are living in a digital age, there have been so many new startup companies that are targeting internal communication in the workplace. Internal communication is the transmission of information between organizational members or parts of an organization. In this day and age, internal communication takes place across all levels of the organization through means of email, social networking, and chats like Slack. Whether that be to limit the number of emails sent out or just to get rid of internal communication as a whole, they are taking over major businesses. Some examples that are comparable to Slack are HipChat and Campfire, which allow you to build chat rooms for different teams in the company. These are just a few of the many platforms being used for internal communication in the workplace. Chats are used in the workplace to allow organization members to communicate throughout the day without intrusive bubbles popping up all the time on their screens, for example, like Instant Messenger. These chats are also successful because we are in the millennials' day and age of technology, and a common way for our generation to communicate is digitally. According to Maureen McKenzie's research, face-to-face communication is not only more important, but is preferred by employees. In her research, employees revealed negative opinions about the use of digital communication when being compared to face-to-face. The transition of digital communication is inevitable. How can we ensure that internal communication will not end in that transition? The answer is by recognizing that internal communication in an organization is vital to prevent workplace issues that stem from job satisfaction. To conclude, low amount of face-to-face communication equals low job satisfaction and low job performance, which equals workplace issues.
The issues Bobby is referring to, coming from a low amount of face-to-face communication, stems from a divide between two groups, called 1, digital natives, and 2, digital immigrants. Digital immigrants are those who willingly use technology but are not familiar with its potential. Digital immigrants need to adapt to the new technological language, and digital natives need to make sure that they're not abusing the power of being more technologically fluent than immigrants. Also, digital natives choose to use technology for numerous tasks and adapt the tools to change. So why is the divide between the two groups negatively affecting us? Because digital immigrants aren't adapting to technology in a way that regulates natives' use. So if you think about it, digital immigrants are people from our parents' and grandparents' generation. They've been in the workforce longer, which means the chances are they're in a position of leadership. They're most likely the native's boss. If bosses or managers aren't regulating the use of digital communication in the workplace, employees will end up overusing it, which leads to the breakdown of low job satisfaction, which leads to low job performance, which Bobby spoke of earlier. Digital communication methods leads to a decrease in face-to-face communication, which influences the development of trusting at-work relationships. This is according to McKinsey as well. Another researcher, Dunham et al., touched on this topic in specifics to managers. According to et al., if managers are effectively communicating with their employees, it will lead to confidentiality and trust, which in turn leads to increased productivity by their employees.
During my summer internship, a coworker and I worked on a speech revision sent to us by a city council representative 2 days before the speech. Some messages that were implemented in the speech would have made sense in person, but were hard to understand without the tone of voice and vocal emphasis. Information and key details were missing in the translation, so we weren't able to finish revising until they were able to come in and visit us in the office and explain what they meant and how they were going to say it. With that being said, the process was delayed 2 days and we only had a few hours to finish the revision before he could prepare the rest of his speech. The action was unprofessional and could have jeopardized the completion of the task. This is a great representation of an avoidable risk. Bottom line, they thought it would be more efficient to send a copy of their speech via email rather than make the effort to visit and go over the draft with us in person. This action resulted in unnecessary risk and miscommunication that jeopardized the completion of our task at hand. In regards to effective internal communication, it is crucial for successful organizations to expedite efficient and effective forms of communication, and it affects the ability of strategic managers to engage with employees and achieve objectives. Managers need to be careful when communicating via email because according to MIDA, it is the most interpersonal form of communication where it has little emotional connection. Unless the parties involved in the email already have a strong relationship, it can be difficult to translate. This is the problem I had when trying to read the speaker's speech via email. I had never met him before, therefore it was hard to decipher how he would say and emphasize critical details. According to a report written by Elsie Ian, participants in a study claimed that computer-mediated communication is the most frequently used channel for employee communications in their organizations. Face-to-face interaction is more effective, but technology can expedite communication much more efficiently. And in my situation, it may have been more convenient for the speaker to email his speech to me at that moment in time, but it was not more efficient in the sense of achieving the final goal. In conclusion, let's think of this Tech Talk as a reminder of our generation of digital natives to monitor your internal digital communication in the workplace. Overuse by you, your manager, or even as a manager in your future can lead to destructive workplace environments. Keep in mind the importance of face-to-face communication even in this digital age.
And if you take nothing else away from this TED Talk, try and take away these 4 points. 1, social networks have made it easier for people to interact during millennials' time, but abusing digital communication leads to disconnect in the workplace.
2, people prefer face-to-face communication as opposed to technological communication, despite the fact that we are in a digital age.
3, lack of face-to-face communication overall decreases productivity, lowers morale, and is a root cause of serious workplace issues.
Last but not least, if there's a strong internal communication, employee engagement is likely to be more effective, leading to an efficient workplace culture and better results from the employee and organization as a whole.
This was our Witt TED Talk. We appreciate you listening and hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.